Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talkin' Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. Courtesy of our friends from around the world, and especially at boxing247.com. Going to start off with something just a little different this Friday. I'm going to let you know what I believe are the long shots coming into some fights this weekend, because we've had a lot of queries with respect to all the various bettors that are out there who enjoy boxing and betting. So here are 5 long shots for you to consider with respect to placing those aforementioned bets. We've got a big fight coming up with Troy Isley and Victor Toney. Obviously, the underdog is Toney. Go ahead, place your bets if you want. Xander Zayas versus Elias Espadas. Guess who's the underdog? Espadas. Andres Cortes versus Abraham Montoya. Montoya is the underdog. Teofimo Lopez versus Pedro Campa. No surprise here. Campa's the underdog. And next week, we're going to see Philip Hrgovic go up against Zhang. And Zhang is the underdog. So there you go. 5 underdogs for all you fans of betting. And good luck to you if you do, in fact, place those bets. But those are the underdogs. Those are going to be your big winners if you place those bets appropriately. All right, let's have some news out of Frank Warren's camp. And this is in the heavyweight category. Frank Warren has bolstered the heavyweight contingent at Queensbury, his company, with the signing of professional newcomer Boma Brown. The 6'6" from Northwest London, UK, is the most recent recruit to a promotional heavyweight brigade that includes WBC, Ring Magazine, and lineal world champion Tyson Fury, WBA world champion Daniel Dubois, WBC silver, WBO international #1 ranked contender Joe Joyce, plus emerging prospects David Adelaide and George Fox. And so said Brown, I'm buzzing to have signed with Frank, and he is somebody who, since I started boxing, I've always looked up at and thought it would be nice to meet him one day. So I was kind of shell-shocked, more than anything, to be meeting him. But it was really nice. He seems like a down-to-earth fella who comes from a humble background. He is somebody I can definitely relate to and want to impress as well going forward. Brown's just turned 27, by the way, and took up boxing pretty recently after being inspired by the 2015 fight in Las Vegas between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. So he's, relatively speaking, a newcomer to the game, but he's got a great career behind him. He's had quite a few victories. Let's just move along, though, to a couple of quotes from Frank Warren added on his new heavyweight. Boma is going to be an exciting addition to the heavyweight ranks, as we were blessed here at Queensbury to have such a stronghold in the division. The fact he is being trained and prepared by Paul Stevenson in Liverpool suggests to me that Boma can make a huge impact and go far in the sport. If Paul can conjure up a heavyweight version of Nick Ball or Andrew Kane, then we will really be onto something special. We're getting to the point where we can fill a card with heavyweights, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Boma brings to the party in the near future. And so in the near future, there's going to be an announcement with respect to Brown's debut for Queensbury and who he'll be fighting. And I look forward to that announcement. But speaking of his co-stablemate, Tyson Fury, and the antics going on with respect to retiring or not retiring, yada, yada, it has, in the words of Charles Brunt, become a sad joke. But as always, the real test of whether Fury, who's 32-0-1, is retired or not, is that WBC title that he currently is holding on to. And if Fury chooses not to vacate it, it's safe to say he's merely continuing with his trolling of the fans and media with yet another fake statement, without a doubt. This is a story I found in boxingnews24.com on Tyson Fury and his career, and shall we say, just the hijinks that are going on. Charles writes, this is Charles Brown writes, Charles writes, if Fury is being genuine with his retirement, he'll be remembered for the following wins: Deontay Wilder, Vladimir Klitschko, Otto Wallin, Derek Chisora, and Dillian White. Sadly, Fury's resume, he says, is thin in terms of quality names, as he's been matched selectively with a lot of domestic-level fodder. Perhaps Fury's best win came against an over-the-hill 40-year-old Klitschko in 2015. Needless to say, he continues, Fury should have stuck around to fight the Joshua Usyk winner and then go through the following killers: Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, Philip Hrgovic, Frank Sanchez, and Arslanbek Makhmudov. And he says, you can argue that the fortune that Fury has accumulated in the last 4 years with his 3 fights against Deontay Wilder and his recent slam dunk win over Dillian White has done a number on his ambition. With a net worth of $65 million, it appears Fury doesn't want it anymore. So this writer, Charles Brunn, would like to see Joe Joyce or Daniel Dubois fight the Joshua Usyk 2 winner, as that would be infinitely more compelling than watching Fury use his jab and grab style against them. Well said. But what I like is a comment made by a fan by the name of Tyrone Merriweather, not spelt in the same manner as the other Merriweathers. This is a problem you have when you are a champion who does not want to fight the best opponents, he said. You try to make another easy fight with a guy like Chisora, and when that falls through, all you're left with are hungry contenders who can possibly beat you and take your precious oath. Fury's entire career has been smoke and mirrors, getting fight fans to believe he can beat everybody without even fighting anybody. To most of you, he doesn't even have to prove he is the better fighter, because you're already arguing he can beat all the heavyweights again without even fighting them. He's now painted himself into a corner, because if he actually grew a pair and fought guys like Hrgovic, Joyce, Dubois, and others, he could lose it, and it may not even be by knockout. And may even a knockout. But as long as he has many of you believing he can beat anybody, he can sit back, never fight them, and win in the court of public opinion. Fury has held up the division ever since he beat Klitschko years ago, faking injuries, faking mental illness and depression, natural loan suspension, arbitrations, faking COVID, and now feigning retirement. Yet instead of calling him on all of this, you guys make excuses for him, which makes it worse. You guys talk all the smack in the world about AJ, yet here it is, a week before his rematch with Usyk, and where's Fury? Faking retirement again to try to get some attention. Not making fights, but trying to make fights. Acting like a diva. Bottom line is this: Fury is a fraudulent chump, and his rabid excuse making fans are all in a cult. As if he actually does retire, it'll be the best thing to happen to heavyweight boxing in the last 7 years since he beat Klitschko, in a fight that was the worst eyesore of a championship fight ever seen. Fury is no all-time great. He's a clown who avoided almost everyone in his era. Woo! Woo! Zingers. Again, from a fan, Tyrone Merriweather, commenting on that article written by Charles Brunn in BoxingNews24.com's website, called, headlined, Tyson Fury retires again. All right, boxing fans around the world, thank you very much for joining me here on Talkin' Fight. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Knuckle Up with Mike Orr at 4 and Cedric Ben. And then later on this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for the Friday night panel featuring Tim Witherspoon and other special guests as well. Thank you. We'll see you then.